What's up guys, welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today will be a classic, simple, mass building chest workout. And as you can see, I'm starting out with a fly exercise. And the reason I do this, and a lot of people should, is that you want to pre-exhaust chest to increase the blood flow to the chest so that the compound movements that you do actually incredibly much target the chest instead of the delts, the triceps. You will target the chest much more easily. I have so many people telling me when they do the incline bench press or a bench press that they feel their shoulders, their triceps, but not their chest. So what you want to do is already pre-exhaust the muscle that you want to work. And the pre-exhaustion isn't just to make the muscle tired in a sense, but it's to fill it up with blood. And when it's filled up with blood, when you get a pump, you're actually aware of where the muscle is. And this makes it a lot easier to enhance your mind-muscle connection during the movement. So right now we're doing a dumbbell press, which is a compound movement. So before doing this, we already felt a pump in our chest, and right now we feel that it's a little more difficult to do the reps, but a lot more effective for sure. Usually when you go too heavy on the bench press or the dumbbell press, you get shoulder issues. A lot of people have this. You can of course go around this by training your rear delts accordingly, doing a lot of shoulder stretches, rotator cuff exercises, but all in all, you still use a lot of your front delts. A lot of load is put on your front delts, and you cannot really stop that if you're inclined to using it. It really depends on the structure of your body. And for me, I have a tendency to use the front delts. I actually almost never train the front delts because they're already developed enough from all my chest workouts. So that's why doing a fly at the beginning, which is an isolation movement, is very helpful to do to really target the chest more and the rest of the muscles less. So right here, set number 4, going pretty heavy. Always wanted to go about 10 to 12 reps here. Even when going really heavy, you don't want to go to a weight where you can only do 4 or 5 reps, especially on a dumbbell press. If you're a powerlifter, of course you can do that on a bench press and stuff, that's your goal. But we are a bodybuilder, and bodybuilders should chase the pump. It's all about filling up that muscle with fresh blood, delivering nutrients, stretching out the muscle fibers, causing the MPS, the muscle protein synthesis, to occur. And then it's time for the wide grip incline chest press. A wide grip I use because I notice that I get a much better stretch in the upper chest compared to a narrow grip. And I really like feeling the stretch because when you get a stretch in the chest, it is simply not used to this. Only during flies you get a really good stretch.
I don't fit in between it, so
Sure, you get somewhat of a stretch on the bench press and even more so on the dumbbell press. But a machine exercise like this, which is designed for you to only use the muscles you want without balancing the weight, you're able to fully stretch the muscle without having to worry about controlling the weight, because all you have to do is push and lower. So that is really what I like to do. Of course, you can also do a small grip if you're more for the contraction, but we already got a good contraction on some of the exercises that we do today. And I go pretty heavy on this one because the heavier you're able to go, the better the stretch will be, of course. So as you can see, I go down a little slower than going up. This is because I want to control the motion, especially at the bottom. On exercises like this, you always gotta look out for your shoulders, guys. A lot of people go so heavy and think, oh, it feels fine, and they do all kinds of stuff with the weights using a lot of momentum, but you only have to make one wrong move and your shoulders are messed up. And that's not what you want as a bodybuilder, as a fitness enthusiast, because you want to be able to work out anytime you want without having any trouble. And then we're going to do the decline bench press. I decided to do at least one exercise specifically for the lower chest because I simply want to grow my chest to be bigger. a lot of people who actually don't have a chest that is very developed start to focus very early on the upper chest. This is actually not a good idea. If you do this, you will actually neglect the most of the mass of the chest, which is in the bottom. If you only do the top of the chest, you won't be able to do as much weight as you could if you focused on the lower part. So at least one exercise should be for the lower part of the chest, in my opinion. This can be a decline bench press, this can be a dip, that's also for the lower part. But if you look at Arnold's chest, sure, you might think he did a lot of incline work, but he actually did a lot of dipping, a lot of normal bench press, a lot of flies to really fill up the chest to the maximum. And when you fill up the chest to the maximum, the top part, the upper chest, will grow with it. Trust me on that one. That is not to say that you should neglect the upper chest, of course. You should always include it, always target it, but a lot of people actually neglect the bottom. And this is another exercise for the bottom of the chest. So if you look closely at the lower part, you can see the maximum stretch happening near the armpits, and this is a feeling that is very specific to this kind of fly, the upright fly. You should try it out. Normally you lean forward to target the chest in its entirety, but if you want to target a specific part, try doing upright and you will feel the difference. And this is a tricep bar push down. First we do the regular push down, and then we superset it with an underhand grip. And again, the difference in contraction and stretch will be noticed so much that you should simply try this one out if you haven't already. The first version, what I'm doing right here, the regular tricep bar push down, you feel what you normally feel when you do the row push down or the V-bar push down, but once you switch to that underhand push down or pull down, depending on how you look at it, it really changes up the entire exercise, because this is a harder version, in my opinion, of this push down. And when you do it at the very end, you will feel an incredible burn in the triceps that you're not used to. And I have to do anything in my power to increase the size of my triceps. And again, this is another exercise for the long head of the tricep, the overhead rope extension. I really like this one because the pulley I'm using, you can actually determine the height of it, so I put it pretty low so that the stretch will be on the long head. Instead of having to push it forward, you feel it pulling downwards. So this puts a lot more stress on the long head than it would usually, especially if you try this one out after already having done an exercise. You will feel that your filled up triceps will stretch out even more. The last exercise of today, the French press, again superset it with another exercise, the close grip press. And I like doing a compound like this at the very end because I'm pretty strong on this exercise and I want to make myself as weak as possible, because if you use a lot of weight it can be detrimental to your elbows. So I actually already want to pre-exhaust the tricep by already doing 2 different exercises and making it a superset, making it even more difficult, so you cannot really put a lot of weight on the bar. But this is for both the long head and the medial head. Make sure to feel the stretch and the contraction. Alright guys, this was the video. I want to thank you for watching, and don't forget,